Nice going. All right, we should be good.
All righty, welcome into Booby's World. We are on the road. It is the Game 2 pregame show with Daniel Booby Gibson. We're hanging out here downtown Cleveland. Harry Buffalo down on East 4th.
Yes,
What's
sir.
going on, bro? This is a crazy scene. We just had some guy. So let me paint a picture for the people of what just happened. This guy comes up with a big Z jersey on,
Right.
throwback,
Which was already
which is already cool.
That was
Already a
cool.
throwback.
Yeah.
And then he lifts up his shirt, and I'm thinking, what is this guy doing?
Wait
And
a
he's
minute.
wearing the vintage throwback shoot it, booby, shoot
Yes,
it shirt
sir. Man,
from
that
back in the day. That was cool.
I thought he was going to have a booby tattoo, and I was like, oh, where are we going
I
here?
thought he was gonna flash his boobies for a minute. I was like, wait a minute, not here. But the beauty of it, man, that's why I like doing events like this, man. Like the love that I share and the love that these people have for me is always humbling every single time it happens. Like I can never get over the feeling of what I feel every time somebody walks up to me and just shares a memory or shares a moment with me, man. It's a beautiful thing.
And there's a lot of them here because we haven't been here all that long, and people are going up to you, and they're like, oh, my God, it's Booby Gibson.
Nah, and it's the playoffs too. So it's like
That's true.
like that time of year where like that moment that I had kind of like stands out. So I think everybody here is excited for the playoffs, and for me to be here, I'm just trying to hype these guys up so that they can be excited for the game tonight. Like that's the point of it all. Just guys getting ready so that we can prepare for a big game 2 tonight.
So I feel like we'd be more excited if Game 1 went
Yeah.
a little bit better. Having said that, though, you've been around these guys a bit.
Yeah.
You were with them today.
Yeah.
What's the mindset? What was the mentality of the crew?
Well, it's the playoffs, man. And I feel like I heard the word nerves being thrown around through the media, but I don't necessarily feel like it's nerves. You know, I feel like these guys just had that first taste of NBA playoff basketball. Like, and I feel like they had a lot of success throughout the year. So when you have success throughout the year playing a certain type of way, you don't necessarily know that when the playoffs hit, like that was fine. But in order to win at this time, you got to go to another level.
So
And
I feel like that's what we saw. Like everyone
Yeah.
watching Game 1 as
Yeah.
fans
Yeah.
were like Julius Randle, Brunson, like all of them were super physical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took it
Yeah.
up just a complete another notch.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we didn't, but
No, we responded. And
Yeah.
that's the difference. If in the playoffs you can't respond, you got to be the guy that hits first. You got to be the guy to put the other team on their heels. And so I think that coming into the game, I think that Coach Tibbs knew that, okay, this is these guys' first rodeo. So we got to deliver the
we're gonna
first
punch
blow.
them in the face.
We got to
Yeah.
come in and just leave it all out there on the floor. And I just think that what happened for the Cavs, it could be a blessing in disguise, because I feel like now the guys know exactly what to expect.
Positive boobies here.
Yeah,
Let's
I know.
go.
Listen, man, I'm a Cav do or die, and I just feel like you know what to expect. So you come into Game 2 with the right mindset, and now you just go out there and play basketball. But you play basketball knowing the value of possessions, knowing the value of the playoff intensity, knowing that guys are gonna hit you and you got to hit back. So I think y'all thought Game 1 was physical. I feel like Game 2 is gonna be 10 times as much.
Yeah, Booby, do you think then, would you consider that to be an X factor, I guess, is to kind of jump out fast and don't find yourself down in those 10, sometimes 12-point holes that they found themselves down in Game 1?
Yeah, it's important. Like the approach, the start to the game is very important in the playoffs, because the one thing you don't want to, especially on the road, is to let the role players get comfortable. You don't want like your Grimes or your Quickleys or your guys like your Toppins. You don't want those guys to get comfortable on the road. So if you come out and you put your imprint on the game first right away, then sometimes those guys kind of disappear. Now you can put your focus on your Randalls and your Brunsons, and then that'll give you a better chance to win. So the idea of the playoffs, man, is that you have to be the team that hits first and establish your identity. You can't let the other team establish theirs, especially not on your home floor.
So you talk about physicality. Let's rewind. Detroit Pistons, one of the most physical teams
I know it from
back in the day.
Yeah.
Shoot, Booby, shoot. We just saw that shirt out there.
Yeah.
What was it like going against that was probably the best NBA team at the time outside of the Spurs.
Absolutely. They had just won a championship.
That was a dynasty.
Yeah.
They were in the middle of a dynasty. So you had Rasheed Wallace, Rip Hamilton, you had that whole crew, Tayshaun Prince.
Even Chris Webber at this time. Like they was pulling all kind of stars from anywhere.
So what was that like as a young kid going against a team that's that physical?
You know what? That's why I can share what I can share with these guys now. Because when I think about how I felt going into that series, like we had just played against, I believe, Richard Jefferson and Vince Carter the round before, and I thought that was physical. But then when the first time I step on the floor, I got to guard Richard Hamilton. I'm pretty sure he bowled me right in the mouth, like just for no reason. Like he was just trying to post me up. And so from that point on, I realized like when you step on the floor, this is the best of the best. This was at that point, I want to say it was like 4 teams left. So that was the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah,
so now,
that was to go to the Spurs. That was to the finals.
Everybody is playing for their life, and you have to approach it that way. You have to literally approach it like these are the last 16 teams left, and all of them want to be able to hold that trophy up. And I don't think sometimes you understand just how much passion and how much vig you have to play with when all of that's on the line. And so I felt like that's what I learned right away in that Detroit series, because I think every guy in the entire lineup tried to post me up, from Tayshaun Prince to Chauncey Billups to
Chauncey. I forgot about Chauncey.
Every time I looked up, somebody was bowing me trying to post me up. So that's when I realized, like, if I want to be able to be on the floor at this level, if I want to have an opportunity to help this team get to the finals, I gotta go to a level that I didn't even know I had at that time. I didn't know I could get to that level, but I'm such a competitor, and I'm such a guy that's like the moment, like I'm gonna embrace the moment. Like that's pretty much what happened. And I feel like, to take it back to what we were just talking about, I feel like our guys are gonna do that tonight. Now that they've gotten, per se, quote unquote, hit in the mouth. Now they understand, like, okay, we gotta hit first and see what they do. And I think that'll change the dynamic of the series, and it's a series of adjustments. You got to be ready to.
So the whole team's super young.
Yeah.
And so when you were playing the Pistons, you were super young. You weren't really a starter. But they just called.
But the thing was, my team was super old though. So like
that's true.
When you think about, Damon Jones, LeBron was young at that time, but you got, Big Z was later in his career, and Andy was younger, but Drew Gooden, we had vets on that team that understood how to deal with that physicality. So I could be a little like bright-eyed and not know what's going on and still have to get out there and like make some things happen in the midst of these vets. But these guys don't necessarily have. Maybe Donovan might be the one guy that's been there before. So they don't necessarily have that. So they're gaining that experience now. They're going through the moment now where they can tell the next year or the next guy it's real when these playoffs start, because that's how you end up, the situation like we are now. But I feel like it's just great to be a part of it with these guys, because I was just talking, we keep saying the word young, but I don't even think they know how to be mad or sad. I still see the same energy. I still see the same excitement when I watch these guys practice getting ready to play the next game. So I just think they're ready to play, and I just think that was just a learning experience for the guys moving forward in the series, because each game in the playoffs is its own game, and I think we'll learn that tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. Good
Come on,
chance
man.
to
I'm
get
gonna need
straight.
y'all to have a little. Y'all act like
we're getting up. All right,
we're getting up. We're getting up. All right.
I'm saying, why does everybody hit the panic button though? Including
y'all.
What?
No, hold on.
I'm feeling a little bit of panic over here.
I am panicking.
I'm a little nervous.
Beer.
Wow.
Hey, we're Cleveland sports fans, boo. Our whole lives.
Wow. We got to figure out how to slow it. We got to have some faith, baby. Do y'all realize the series?
You know what I think it is, though?
Do you realize the series that we were talking about, the Detroit series? Y'all realize we were down 0-2, right?
Oh, yeah.
So this happens. Not saying that, obviously, I don't want to go down 0-2, but what I'm saying is you got to stay the course. You got to stay. You can't.
Have we ever been down 3-1?
You can't. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You can't panic, man. Well, it's just one game, man.
You know what I think it is, though? I think it's when I look at the Knicks and you look at their roster and you look at our roster, like I looked at that game one, I was like, we're gonna beat them.
Yeah.
So
it hurts, right?
It does. It hurts
a little bit.
Yeah, because we got and we talked about this, Booby, last week. We got the better players for sure. I mean, Donovan for sure, Allen.
Right.
Mobley.
Absolutely. I feel like we got the best four.
Yeah, so I think having some of those guys outside of Donovan step up on the big stage, it'll be big. All right, but last thing, because we'll get this positivity, this optimism up. Last thing, let's do
negative.
No, let's do one more question about game one, and then we'll officially flush it, and we'll get into game two here. If you had to name one thing that killed the Cavs in game one that you think has to be different tonight, what would your one thing be? And then we're done talking game one.
I feel like we could power rank 3 of them.
Man, I'm gonna just go with rebounding, like the battle of the boards. I feel like with rebounding for your team, it establishes just how bad you want it. It establishes like how hard you're willing to play. The Cavs call it winning the scrap. If you win the rebounding battle, that means you're winning the scrap. That means you come to play harder than the other team, because I feel like defensively, to hold a team to maybe like 100 points, that's a good defensive job.
Yeah.
You know, that means the defense did the job. But now that means if they had 17 or so offensive rebounds or something, like now those 17 misses have become opportunities to score for that team.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we can play that same type of defense and then finish the play with a rebound, I feel like now we're able to push the ball and get into transition, and now we allow ourselves to get more points and get a better rhythm, so that the guys that we're talking about, your Verts and your guys like that, are able to have big games because they're not playing against a set defense all night.
Do you think that was an intensity thing? Do you think that with Mobley and Jared Allen, or do you think it was just the ball just bounced the wrong way and they just did not get those rebounds?
Nah, I feel like we got to give some credit to the Knicks. They got some big boys and some bullies down there too. Julius Randle is a hell of a basketball player. Mitchell Robinson is like one of the tallest guys ever. You know what I mean? So he could just be standing there and the balls go low-key come to him sometimes. So it just means that when you're playing against guys like that you have to do your work early and you have to up your level of intensity to another level, because these guys they're gonna crash the same exact way. And like you said, if we're not ready to meet that fight, if we're not ready to match that intensity, they'll win the rebounding war again, and we'll be in for another battle.
So let's look at the shooters.
Yeah.
Nick, we were talking about this earlier today. Darius Garland, first playoffs, really. He didn't shoot much in the third, fourth quarter.
Right. Yeah.
Do you expect him to come out guns a-blazing with Donovan next to him? How do you see Darius Garland game two?
Yeah, the one thing I don't ever worry about with DG is necessarily the shots. I feel like he'll find his shots. The one thing that I do want to see is just him being aggressive. So if aggressive means that's 10 assists now, as opposed to 2 or 3, now that means Evan Mobley's having a great game. Now that means Jared Allen's having a great game. Now that means the rest, he's helping those guys kind of work their way into the playoffs too. I feel like with DG, I feel like he's going to get his shots because he's so incredibly talented with the basketball. So he's going to find his opportunities to score. And I feel like game one was a learning experience for him too. I feel like now he knows where he's going to get his shots from. And they doubled him a lot. If you watch the game back, and when he came off his pick and roll, they doubled it. So that's another reason why him getting off the ball and him learning now, okay, this is what to expect from these guys. Now I know how to attack it. Yeah. Now I feel like this game, again, he'll have more opportunities to get those other guys involved and get to his own shot. So I'm always expecting a big game from DG. I just think he's one of the top point guards in the game. So
for sure,
it's only right that guys like that bounce back after any game to help their team win, especially in the playoffs.
Fellow Clevelander Denzel Ward, corner for the Browns, my guy, actually texted me today, and he predicted he's going to the game. He predicted a 50-piece out of DG tonight because that's his guy. Denzel predicted a 50-piece.
Hey, man,
He said put it out there that I said 50 piece from Darius tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a double down on that. I've seen that movie before. I've seen him go get 50 before, and I would not be surprised because he's just that talented to be able to do it.
So let's take a look at this, Booby. You mentioned giving the Knicks a lot of credit, especially what they were able to do physically. Mitchell Robinson, huge. Julius Randle, huge. Jalen Brunson popped off, and I don't
like that dude.
I knew you were going to say that.
I don't like that dude.
I knew he was a gamer, but I think he found a lot of Cavs fans that are online, a lot of Cavs fans that don't watch the rest of the league that closely. I think he was a little bit of a surprise for a lot of people.
Yeah.
How does Booby Gibson slow down Jalen Brunson? How do you stop a dude like that?
Well, first of all, it could never be just Booby Gibson, because that's the thing about the NBA, man. These guys are so talented, man. They're so talented, and they worked on their craft, so they know how to get to their spot. So I feel like the way that you guard a Jalen Brunson is as a team. You got to find ways to get him to areas on the floor where he's not as comfortable. Like I said, guys are still gonna make shots. But you try to put him in the toughest situations to take the toughest shots. And I mean, technically speaking, he might have still ended up with, I want to say 27, but I want to say it took him like 25 or 24 shots.
Yeah, a lot of volume.
If that's the case, that means, again, we're talking about more rebounds that we should have attained. But I feel like with him, the biggest thing is just making the game difficult for him, making the game hard, making him have to work for everything. And the same thing with Randall. I feel like it was the same way. I think he finished with 17 or 19, so I know he's going to be more aggressive today. And the same way, you just got to make those guys work for everything they get, because at this level, you're not stopping anybody. Like these guys are pros for a reason. And speaking of them too, they're all-stars for a reason. So
absolutely.
that's why this will be a fun series all the way through.
Darius Garland over 20.5. That's what it's at.
Oh yeah, I'm with that 100%. I tell you, any DG stats,
just locked it in.
Double, whatever. I'm with it tonight.
Here's an interesting one. Isaac Okoro is over 6.5. So we watched game one. Coach Tibbs, I feel like, made a conscious effort to not guard Okoro on the 3-point line.
Yeah.
If you're Okoro and that happens again tonight, what do you do?
Mix it up. I feel like obviously with Ice, he works extremely hard on that jumper. So let it fly.
So Lindsay Gottlieb, she comes on the show every now and again, and she said Isaac Okoro is one of the hardest workers in the NBA.
Without a doubt. And I feel like that's why you trust a guy like that if he's missed shots or whatever, because you've witnessed the time and the work that he's put in. So I would just say mix it up, just from the standpoint of sometimes you just miss shots. That's just how it goes. Even me, I feel like I'm a great shooter, but I still miss shots. So for a guy like Ice, you can still cut out of that corner. You can still catch it and drive, even if they're not guarding you now. When you drive, I bet they guard the drive. I bet they
take 2 steps in.
Even getting to the rim, like Ice is to me like he's not sneaky athletic. He's one of the most athletic players on our team, and he makes great decisions when he drives the ball too. So I feel like sometimes turning down the open one and just driving it again, finding guys in the paint, finding another guy, and I feel like mixing it up with taking shots, I feel like he'll be just fine. That's another guy that just because of the work and the time I see him put in, I trust him. And the way that he defends, you got to leave him on the floor, because he's a big part of the reason why it took a guy like Brunson that many attempts to get that many shots, because he got a score of a guy like Isaac Okoro.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing with Isaac, too, is he could hit those threes.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, he was wide open. I know it's early in the game. Just shoot it.
Because it was disrespectful to me, in my opinion, that they were leaving him that open. I know he's not the best shooter on the team, but keep shooting those, man, because you can hit them.
But as a hooper, like even like when you first come into the game, sometimes you got to feel your way into the game. You know what I'm saying? So if we're talking like early 3-pointers, sometimes there's the superstars in the league that'll drive the ball just to get fouled, just to work their way into the game. So it might not be just taking that early wide open when it might be you might get it. They might disrespect you or you feel disrespected, now you drive
right at him.
hit him with a little the little euro, you know what I'm saying? Now you lay them. Now they don't know what to do. They want to give you a shot, but if you want to drive it with that space that they give you, that's a lot of space to close up, and it's really hard to defend that as well. So I just think he just needs to continue to mix it up, but most of all, shoot the ball with confidence and let the results be what they make.
Absolutely. Booby, we know that you were in there working with those guys today.
Yes, sir.
I know every day, especially on the eve of Game 2 here in Cleveland, Ohio. Call out one guy, Coach Booby.
Yeah.
Who's your guy that needs to step up tonight for the Cavs?
Oh, boy.
Evan Mobley. Big
I like that.
Big Easy. The Big Easy. So I just feel like Evan is going to be a superstar, one of the best players in Cavalier history. This is his second year.
Yep.
So I feel like that was his first playoff game, you know, just like we talked about before. You fill it out, this happens, okay. Oh, that's how you're going to play? Now I feel like he's learned what type of physicality that the Randalls and the Robinsons are going to bring to the game. Like the first play of the game, I think he caught it, missed it. I think he turned back around.
Yeah, spun around and threw down.
So we know the skill is there. We know the mentality is there. So I just think now that he knows more of, again, what to expect. If I had to put my money on somebody bringing a different type of intensity to the game that the Knicks will have to adjust to, I'm gonna go with my guy, Big Easy.
All right, so have you ever seen this Joker in the stadium over here?
I have. I've seen like pictures of him and everything. That's pretty awesome, though. The Where's Water? That's one of my favorite little comics.
Back in the day, Sir Yacht.
And let me not age myself over here. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? That's like way.
Has no idea.
I have no idea.
Me and Booby are the same age. Nick, man, there's so many things that I say to Nick. He just
what is it? Oh, the best one. I know he won't know this one. What is it? The Temple of Doom?
The Temple of Doom.
Oh, that's the one right there.
All right, now you got to explain what is that.
He has no idea.
Temple of Doom was like legit boulders flying at you. So it was a obstacle course, I guess.
Okay.
Obstacle course on Nickelodeon, where the guys like you get slime basically.
I think I've seen that, and they set it up in like an arena. There's a volcano in the middle.
He's seen it on TikTok.
Yeah, but it's that good. See, they don't make stuff like that for these guys no more. So he missing out. He feel like he's missing out.
All right, back to the Cavs. We talked about.
Y'all don't want to stick to easy to do.
90s TV. We talked a lot about Okoro, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many points would you have scored if the Knicks guarded you like they're guarding Okoro in Game 1?
First of all, I don't like that question. So, because I feel like Ice gonna do Ice things. I can't defend how Ice defends. I can't do a lot.
And not many people on this planet can defend.
That's what I'm saying. So, like two different players. So, if I don't think that the Knicks would guard me how they guard Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
They're not leaving me open in that corner like that. No way, no how. They're not they guard me like they guarding Darius Garland. They're not leaving me open over there. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like obviously I think my gift was being able to make shots, but I feel like for Ice, it's a totally different game. So I don't like that question. So I ain't gonna answer.
I love it. When this series moves to Game 3 on Friday, you talked about the intensity of Game 1 and the fact that they felt that physicality. That gets different again in Game 3, right? And could you talk a little bit about how that shakes out?
Man, the beauty of the playoffs, and that's why I was telling both of you guys, stop hitting the panic button.
All right. Give me one more drink.
You really gonna hit it there. Because
those parlays are typical. You're getting crazy.
Keep trying to throw them in. Like, so what do you think about JA on rebounds in the third quarter? I'm like, wait a minute. Are these questions for me?
Plus 3.5.
So are they going to get the half? Or
Listen, man. You made me forget the question, man. What was
it? It was about come Game 3. We talked about that physicality and then how things flip.
Absolutely. So what we got to learn is that every game in the NBA playoffs is its own game. So Game 1, they'll make adjustments from Game 1 to Game 2. And like now, we'll see on the floor what those adjustments were from both of those coaches, and we're still on the Cavs home floor.
Yeah.
Now, game 3, the Cavs have to travel. And in traveling, you have to find out, do your role players travel in the playoffs? Because a lot of times that's the thing that's why you said you want to hit first when you're playing it when a team comes to your home court, because you don't want the role players to travel. So going to New York, that's where I feel like that'll be its own game, because the Cavaliers now, and I used to love roadkill, man, like going on the road, going in this hostile environment, and it's just your 20 guys, like the coaches and the players, and that's it. The whole building is booing you. They calling you everything. And just to be able to,
do you prefer that?
Oh, man, just to be able to just go out. I don't prefer it over the Cavs fans.
That's fair. That was a stupid question.
Playing here is nothing like it.
Yeah.
But right underneath that is being able to silence an entire building and make everybody go home. Like, make everybody go home sad and sick. Like that.
Especially New York fans. Come on now.
What?
As half of the Harry Buffalo is filled with
I'm
New
trying
York
to figure out what's going on. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here, man. How far is New York away from here? Or are these New York fans in Cleveland? Like,
so we ran into some guy that followed me on Twitter that said that he's a Browns fan, but also a Knicks, Mets, Rangers, all New York teams, but the Browns are his football team. He lives in Cleveland.
Bunchy, what's going on, man? Shout out to my guy Bunchy, man. All the guys coming out to support. That's the owner of Rumor. If you ever,
can we bring him in?
Absolutely. But I mean, I don't know if he want to come in, but I at least show us some love. Hey, Bunch.
What's it?
What's going on?
Yeah, I was just telling him, man, the owner of Rumor, you know what I'm saying? One of the best establishments in the city, you know what I mean? So yeah, if you ever looking for a place to hang out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Rumor, baby. You know how we do, man. Yes, sir.
So when we take a look at this game, obviously New York is a while away, so they have to go on the road. But back to this game, do you think Donovan could continue to carry this team offensively? Because although game 1 they got to feel it a little bit, I think there will still be some of those. Call it nerves, call it jitters, call it still just figuring out the playoffs. I think Donovan is going to have another big game today. Is what I'm trying to say.
Part of NBA basketball, man. You got to work through that every game. You got to work through those feelings, and you got to adjust and work yourself into every game. But the one person that does not have to work himself into the game is Donovan Mitchell. I wouldn't be. He's an incredible offensive talent.
Yeah.
I know the Knicks are gonna make adjustments where they could potentially double, they could potentially try to do some other things. But what I've learned from watching this kid play an entire season, and I knew he was great, but I had no idea just how great he was until I was able to watch it up close in person in practice.
Right.
Yeah.
It's nothing this kid can't do. Like, there's no change of direction. There's no shot that he can't get to. So I don't necessarily worry about Donovan. Like, I know that he's going to come out and have the same performance or even better. And even his not so great performances are still like things that a lot of us could never think of imagining doing. Yeah. So I think that he'll continue to lead this team. And I feel like his calmness and his ability to make tough shots will continue to just help the other guys settle into their roles and be able to be, as productive as they can be tonight.
Absolutely. We are hanging out here, Harry Buffalo in downtown Cleveland, getting you guys ready for game 2. What do you guys say we lock in some predictions for game 2? I know Booby's Mr. Optimistic. I'm going to throw it to you first. Let me hear your game prediction and a score prediction, too.
A score prediction?
Score prediction in basketball? Dude. Let's get crazy.
Well, hey, listen, you would never, ever hear me say I feel like the Cavs are going to lose, because I just always believe. Never. I just believe. I feel like we always got a chance to win every single night. So I feel like the Cavs are going to bounce back and win it in game 2. And I'm going, since it was such a low one last game, I'll go 118. 106.
Okay, I like it. I'm going to go optimistic as well, and for a different reason. My reason being, game one, they got their taste of what the playoffs is like, but game two, they come out a little bit mad, a little bit pissed. And I think we see guys like Ev and Jarrett really take over and control a little bit what they can of Mitchell Robinson, of Julius Randle. So I got the Cavs winning tonight. I'm going to go with you a little bit higher scoring. I think 115 to 110.
He said a little bit higher scoring. He said the same exact number.
I meant higher scoring versus.
Actually, it was lower. I said 118.
I meant higher than last game.
Okay. I got you. My bad.
Booby's fitting
I was
right
gonna go
in
like I was gonna go like
fun of Nick as much as we can.
You gotta show Booby the shirt that you bought.
I love you guys, man. It's been fun. It's been fun hanging out. It's been fun talking basketball, man. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna keep this up, Dave. Let's hear the prediction. I know you're nervous. I think she just brought you over another one. Let's hear it.
Right, and we pre-gaming too. It's only
That's
right.
true. That's true. I think we win double digits.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go.
So no panic button. This is awesome.
No panic button. Yeah, no panic button.
Awesome, guys.
And this is going to be a competitive game too. Like this is no cakewalk, but it's going to be a good game that they win.
Yeah, they're gonna have to earn it, but I feel like they're ready. They're ready for the times. The one thing that we can say right all year is we responded all year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anytime we felt like we need to figure it out, or these guys need to dig deep, or we need to show what we're made of, they've done it. So I don't feel like tonight will be anything less or anything different.
Because if they don't do that, then the panic button is hitting.
I mean, for y'all.
Booby's been down 0-2 before.
I've been down. I've seen it all. And this thing, Uncle Mo, this thing we call momentum in the NBA is a special beast. If you can get it on your side.
You call it Uncle Mo?
Uncle Mo, you never heard, and he's Uncle Mo is a fickle man. One day he'll be on your side, and the next day he's completely somewhere else.
You got Uncle Mo on your side. I'm telling you, it changes things, man. Like your mentality when you walk in the gym, you feel like the rim look a little bigger, the smiles are a little bit brighter. So whenever that happens, I feel like the energy shifts. It shifts during the game and it shifts during the series. So it's just a matter of these guys getting on track and getting old Uncle Mo on their side. And just balling out, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Don't you think they come out and punch him in the face?
I think they do, especially with the home crowd. And like you said, panic button, none of us are hitting it, but there are fans out there that are not hitting the panic button per se, but that are nervous. So I think that crowd's going to be loud. The crowd's going to be cheering them on. And I think that's when the Cavs are at their best. They were one of the best home teams in the league all year.
Yep.
It would be so unorthodox to drop 2 in a row. So that's why I'm optimistic going into this.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate that. I like that. I like the way y'all bounced back from that earlier. I was a little worried about you guys, man.
We just had to hang out with Booby for a little bit, get that optimism up. Yes, we're feeling good.
Cavs by 30. Life. Cleveland or die.
Love it. We will wrap this thing up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Booby's World out here in Harry Buffalo, downtown Cleveland. If you're going out tonight, have a great time. Let's go Cavs, and we will see you guys next week. Peace. Boom, boom.